Hello, everyone. Welcome to Plastic Profiles Community Spotlight. With me today is William Hostler. You might call him Bill. You've seen him on Instagram. He's a toy photographer. Welcome to the show, Bill. It's good to meet you. Good to see you.
Good to meet you, AgentChuckles. How are things on your end?
I'm doing all right. Please call me James. I don't ever expect anyone to call me that in person. I'm 48. It was my second email address ever was AgentChuckles, and so I'm like, it just
Okay.
It stayed. So community spotlight. What we do here is we find people in the community that are doing things. They're crafting. They're making customs. You like to take toy photography, and you do it very well. I might add.
Thank you.
And so I wanted to get you on the show. I wanted to see you face to face, and learn a little bit about you, what makes you tick, and see the sort of the inspiration behind these awesome pictures you do. So let's go way back, won't we? To a time to your youth. What was young Bill into as a youth?
Oh my. Well, first off, I'm grateful that we grew up in a pre-YouTube era.
Oh, definitely.
Some of the stupid things that I did, there's no evidence of that.
Right.
I can go to a job interview and not have my dirty secrets on display.
Yeah, we were very lucky in that respect.
Yeah. No, I grew up. I'm on the East Coast. I grew up in the country, so it was a lot of hunting, fishing. We didn't have TV, so I read a lot of books. Loved military history. Anything I could get my hands on that my mom would allow me to read.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
But yeah.
So you didn't. I'm gonna guess that the cartoons weren't a big draw of the GI Joe cartoons weren't a big draw for you to get into GI Joe.
So yeah, we didn't have TV, but my grandparents, my mom's parents, lived about an hour away from us, and so every other weekend we would go, and my dad would mow their grass. So they did have TV. So yeah, Saturday mornings I would get to watch GI Joe.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, I bet. Hey, I think that grass is getting a little lengthy, Dad. Come on, let's go. Let's get to it.
Yeah. The thing was, so both my grandfathers were World War II vets. My mom's dad was in the Army. He hated GI Joe.
Oh, okay.
He would actually come into the room and turn off the television if we were watching GI Joe, and he'd walk through the room. War was hell.
Right.
And he felt that GI Joe glorified war. And he,
I get that.
Wasn't a big fan.
No.
And yes, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a hard man. He was cut from a cloth that they don't make anymore.
Yeah. Well, I know I'm grateful for his service, and goodness,
as am I.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so what's your first memory of GI Joe? Do you recall was it seeing the toys on the pegs first, or was it watching the cartoon with the sound of lawnmowers in the background?
Probably the cartoon.
Okay.
That was probably some of my first memories. One of my cousins, I remember going to his house, and he had a lot of the Joe figures, so we would play with them, whenever we were over visiting with their family. So that was always enjoyable when we got to set up battlefields and duke it out on the area rug. That was always a good time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. Yeah, we were fortunate. I was always fortunate that I didn't ever have the shag rug, the instant accessory monster killer. Oh, bipods. That's where they go to die.
Yes.
Um, okay, so what was your first Joe toy? Do you recall?
Honestly, I don't think I ever owned a Joe before the Classified series.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm one of the enigmas that I can't say wow I had this guy as a kid,
Yeah. Yeah.
like this is awesome.
Right.
But yeah, I mean because I enjoyed military history, because I was interested in stuff like that, like G.I. Joe was always a presence,
Mm.
but was never anything I got into until the pandemic, and I'm looking at empty pegs for 6 months before I find a figure in the wild. And at that point, like I'm like,
Oh yeah.
okay, I've never seen one of these before, so I'm gonna get it.
Right.
And
Right.
that sent me down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, the pandemic did that for a lot of us. I think we all just kind of sat around looking. I got to find something to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, where I live as well. There was I would see people, oh, there's nothing but flints and Lady J's on the pegs, and we're ready for more, and I'm like, my Walmart it has never had anything, and it's a good 45 minutes away from me anyway. Even if
Yeah.
I got down there every day. But then I found the darker Cobra Commander at a Walgreens, and that was the first
Okay.
classic
Yep.
I bought. But I don't have my original Joes anymore, but I've repurchased the various ones, and but anyways, this is not about me. Okay, so the classifieds were your first Joes. I've seen your toy photography, so you've picked up some other ones since then. Um, you how are you going to like? Are you doing the eBaying, or how are you trying to piece this together, or what's your goals for classic vintage Joes? That's a good question. I'll ask that.
Classic vintage Joes. I think probably the only ones that I would actively pursue would be
Mm.
Tunnel Rat.
Oh yeah,
He's my favorite figure.
right.
So me and a friend of mine, we were just at a toy show a couple months ago, and like they had Night Force Tunnel Rat,
Oh, that's
which was
cool.
really really cool. But
Yeah,
I'm not going to drop $100, you know, on
yeah,
a
it's a little steep. Yeah,
on an action figure right now. So
yeah, yeah. I hear you. I hear you. And you probably find a
there's
regular tunnel rat and give him a Sharpie paint job, look something similar.
yeah. The friend that I went to the show with, he actually gifted me a V1 Tunnel Rat.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
I have him. He even kit bashed it a little. He swapped the legs out, I think, for Bazooka's legs.
Oh, those
So
are
he
cool
has
legs.
like
Yeah,
a similar colors, throughout, and that was really cool. And then Hillbilly,
right.
he gifted me one of the Sonic Fighters Tunnel Rat. So that was
Oh,
pretty
that's cool.
awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah,
Hillbilly's a heck of a guy.
all my vintage
Eric Harper.
figures have been. Yeah, Harper is a cool guy. All my vintage guys have been gifts, so that's been pretty cool.
Okay, that's awesome. So Tunnel Rat's your guy. Do you have a favorite Cobra? You don't have to. I'm just asking.
I don't really.
Yeah.
No, I mean I like Zartan, but I don't consider him Cobra. He's a dreadnought. So
Yeah, yeah. He's an independent contractor.
correct.
The funny thing with Cobras is like you can have your favorites, but eventually they get like groups. Like there's pockets, right? Like if you get Zartan, well then you got to have a dreadnought. Oh, you can't just have one dreadnought. Then you've got all 8 dreadnoughts or whatever, right? And then Well, if you get Destro, you got to have the Baroness, and then of course, you
Yep,
can't have one twin and not the other. But if you got the twins, then you might as well
correct.
have some Prince and Guard. So it's like it's a total Lay's potato chip thing, right? Like you can't just get the one.
Can't
That's
just get the
been my
one,
experience
correct.
anyway. Yeah. Some people feel that way about Bazooka and Alpine, but I don't. I don't. The cartoons were always kind of like, I'll watch this, but I don't believe in any of this. You know what I mean? Like the comics were very near and dear to me, but
Okay.
you know, so I just let the cartoons be on. But the whole stuff with the Fudgy Bar and Quick Kick and Alpine and all that, like it doesn't really mean anything to me the way it means to a lot of people. But that's what's great about
Yeah.
GI Joe. For me, in my mind, is that it can be whatever you want it to be. You want
Yeah.
a realistic military, you can pursue that. Just put Cobra Law over here. If you want some
Yep.
sci-fi science fiction, then hey, welcome to the 90s, GI Joe. We got science fiction all over the place, right? Um, so that's cool. That's cool. So what was your first? I don't think we said. What was your first classified figure?
Honestly, I don't even remember.
Yeah, yeah. They
I
just
know it
started
wasn't that long
showing up.
ago, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I they started showing up. I started getting them,
yeah.
and yeah.
All right. All right. So the reason we're here is the toy photography. Well, and that we have conversed through Instagram for some time, and I was like, we've got to actually talk here. So, but
It has been a while.
yeah, yeah. Um, so what started? Where did you start with the toy photography? What got you into that? Are you a regular photographer?
No, I
Regular.
am not.
Okay. All right.
No, I actually don't own an SLR camera. I shoot with whatever crappy phone I happen to have in my possession at the time.
All right.
I would love a big boy camera,
Right.
but again, that's not in the cards for me right now either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, my cell phones are always, low end. I don't have a $1,500 cell phone that I'm shooting on. I
No.
think I have a Galaxy 13 that I'm using right now, and that's
Okay.
what we're conversing on anyhow.
Right. That's doing
So
well. It's hanging in there.
yeah, I'm pleased with it. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's not the greatest, but I make it work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how I got into this, there was a YouTube channel that I had stumbled upon, Joe's Multiverse,
Okay.
and there happened to be a handful of guys on there. So he'd do lives.
Mhm.
I jump on there. He'd do lives with Figurehead.
Okay.
He's on Instagram. Mark Cosplay was on there. Toy God Original. Like there was a handful of the community that would all get on these lives and converse. And they talked about getting on Instagram and doing photography and stuff like that. So I made the leap. I was anti social media. Like I
Mm.
didn't. Well, my wife actually made me get a cell phone. I didn't have one.
All right.
I didn't want one. I'm like,
Right.
I was old school. If you want me, call the home phone. If I ain't there, leave a message. I'll call you back when I get home.
Right.
I lived
Right.
that way most of my life. It worked. But yeah, I got Instagram, then started seeing toy photography. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I started messing around, doing my own stuff, and here I am. It's still fun.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't get to do it as often as I would like, but I enjoy it. It's a release. I step away from the stress and the craziness of life for 5 minutes and set up my toys, take a couple shots, and then
Yeah.
get back to it.
All right. Well, let's take a look at some of your pictures here. There we go. So here we've got snake eyes in a reflective meditative state.
Yep.
These figures are so great. Even the ones that you can't see their face, you can still feel like there's still life there. and I don't know, they're just pretty great. And it's a simple pose, but just the way he's sitting there, you can tell he's he's lost in thought, or maybe he's planning something, or um
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
I like it.
either a before or after shot. This is either like after the battle's over and he's reflecting, or
That's right.
he's getting ready to jump into the fray and hit it.
I see the school bus in the back. That must have been full of battle android troopers.
This was actually after a bike rodeo we did
Oh,
with
okay.
Cub Scouts. I took a figure with, and we were all done cleaning up, and I had a couple minutes, so yeah, just put him down on the ground and shot the picture, and it was one to hit.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So, silly question. So, when you take a Joe on the go, because I'm prone to doing that as well. Oh, we're going out? Hold on a second. How do you transport them? And do you bring accessories, or do you just bring the figure?
So at Dollar Tree, I actually picked up a pencil box,
Oh,
and it
okay.
has a little lid, like kind of separate section on top.
Right.
So I put all the accessories in that, and then I lay a Walmart bag in the bottom of the pencil box, and it holds two figures rather comfortably, and then their accessories go in the little pouch thing.
That's a good
So it
idea.
works.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Very good. Let's check out another one here. Oh yeah, this was a good one. I like this one a lot as well. I like all of these pictures, but this one, I I don't know if it's because I don't see him with a weapon, so like that sort of weapon that often, but there's just something brutal about this picture. Like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's on his way to do it, or he's coming back from hurting somebody, but he's looking pretty tough here.
Yeah, this one just turned out like it was the right time of day. Yeah, and he's a beast. So
Yeah,
that 50 cal just it works in his hands. Like
yeah,
it's not too big. It fits him.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can see him lugging that around.
He's carrying it like a regular weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you don't do any sort of, I mean, I'm gonna guess with your phone, you don't do any sort of editing with the picture editing on your phone or anything like that. These are all just taken straight how they're taking it. It seems. Is that right?
Yeah. So I don't do any editing. I don't sit at a computer for hours, tweaking stuff.
Right.
Um, I think it's PM Uncolored. At one point, him and I were having a conversation, and I was frustrated with a certain picture,
Right.
and he said tweak the brightness and the contrast.
Hmm.
So a lot of my pictures, I will tweak the brightness and contrast, but that's the only touch up that I
Right.
do. So yeah, that's one of the things that I not necessarily struggle with, but I got to be aware of that. What the shot that you see is a shot that I took.
Right.
So
Yeah. That's really sharp. That's really sharp. Um, let's see who's next down. We got Viper. Seems like he's falling behind the rest of the group. He's got to double time it.
yep,
No. So this is just uh an area somewhere. Like this isn't a setup scenery, I'm gonna guess, right? This is just some natural landscaping that you found, and you put them down and took it, or
yes,
how did the
yep.
yeah, man.
What was your question?
I that Yeah, it was really it was a really terrible question. Uh I threw all the words and I was hoping a question would come out of it. I used all the words.
um,
Basically, my question was, let's see if I can make it a basic question. Um, is this a Did you set this background? I keep getting off camera. Did you set this background up at all, or is this just sort of is this how it was? That's still not a great question, but
so yeah, this is what if you take the the figure out of this shot,
Mm.
that's what was there.
Oh, okay. That's what I was asking.
That's how I, okay. Yep. That's how I shoot. There'll be times when I'll like take some leaves, out of a
Mm.
shot or something like that to just to give that, perspective. You don't want to, a leaf that's as big as the figure in the background
Yeah,
kind
oh,
of takes
yeah.
from away from it.
I've done that before.
But
And that's usually the one you're most excited about. You're like, oh, this is going to be great. Oh, that leaf is 5 feet long. Crap.
yes, there's a really cool shot I have of Tiger Force Outback, and he's scaling a stone wall, and I have a Burger King cup in the background. So it looks like the dude from Aqua Teen Hunger Force is,
Oh, yeah.
chasing him
Yeah.
down.
Master Shake. Yeah, that's awesome. No, it's just the way the grass is and the moss or whatever that is in the front, like the greenery, like it's just like the right
Yeah,
size. It looks perfect. It's a very impressive shot, and yeah, the cracks in the
yeah.
stone, all that. Yeah, that's great. Very good.
GI Joe 85 is somebody that I respect quite a bit for his work and what he brings to toy photography. And this was, inspired by his style, very much so.
Okay. Yeah, I think one of the first toy photographers I saw was on YouTube because I never really did YouTube um, until basically around the pandemic, and then then I'd start watching YouTube videos, and I found
Okay.
Sir Dork. I don't know his real name, but
Okay.
that's
Yep.
like his tag, and he would do all the mad special effects like poofing up piles of dirt or firecrackers or exploding soda bottles or whatever, and that was my first experience with toy photography until I came to Instagram, and then everyone's doing it, and then a lot of people are doing some really great stuff.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, cool figure. Have you ever thought about doing fireworks?
Yes. The sparkle bombs. I've never came
Yeah,
across any in the wild. I
mm,
haven't pulled the trigger on ordering any from Amazon.
yeah,
But I did use just regular sparklers
mm,
for a couple shots.
yeah. I've not had much luck with sparklers myself. Like I'll usually get a couple pebbles of something, but not enough to make it look like any. Like you'll see guys, they're just like shaking it or whatever, and you're like, I don't know how they did that. But yeah, the firework tents that pop up around July 4th. That I went
Yes.
to my local one, and I found a whole box of. Do I have one around here? No, I don't. But I found I got a whole case of those little. They look like cartoon bombs. They're round and then they
Yep.
have the little wick at the top. Yeah, yeah, those are cool. I'm not really good at it yet, but it's fun to do.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you just gotta go click, 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 and then maybe one of them will turn out to be something. Yeah,
I'm with you. Yeah.
very cool. All right, what do we got next? Oh yeah, your man, Tunnel Rat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. This was another one. What was it? Scout camp. Um, the boys were doing something. I had my pencil case, and I'm like, "You guys are busy for the next half hour. I'll be back." And dropped down
That's
over the
cool.
side of the road into a culvert, and had people giving me, hairy eyeball as they walked by. But
Yeah,
that's
what are
all
you
right.
doing, weirdo? Yeah, yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
uh I live on an island. I might have told the story before on social content or whatever, but it's the first thing in my head. I live on an island, so there's a lot of scenic spots, and I
Yeah.
went to a close by one, and there was a photographer had his whole thing set up, the tripod, and he had a camera. He was taking pictures of the mountains. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so there's mountains and water and pine trees all in the same shot, right? And he's taking
Yeah.
pictures of it all. And then I'm down just a little bit down from him. I'm posing. Who was I playing with? I was posing Flint, and
Okay.
he was Dr. Mindbender, and oh yeah, that's right. It was Flint and Roadblock had been captured, and Dr. Mindbender was there with some Vipers or Cooper soldiers or something, and I'm setting them all up, and I look over, and he looks over at me, and in my head I'm like, we're doing the same thing, I'm like, hey, but I'm sure he's going, what a nerd, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
because I'm there. I've got my phone and I got a tripod, like one of the little $20 ones, and I'm, trying to angle it right, and yeah, yeah. I know the hairy eyeball well.
I mean, this takes, toy photography for me anyhow. The challenge is getting the perspective.
Right. That's right.
With him, he just sets up and shoots. It is what it is.
Right.
But you got to make a 6-inch figure, look like it melds into the background.
Yeah, not look like a 6-inch figure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So actually, you're elevating your game above his. So.
Oh, yes, I am. I'm hot stuff now. Were you taking a picture of a mountain? Anyways, that's why a lot of my pictures are always by water or rocks or whatever, because that's all I got around me is water and rocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a good way to look at it. I never thought about it that way. I may never not think about it that way now.
Perspective's not easy.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's true. All right, who we got next? My man Chuckles and a crimson
There you
bat.
go.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to do a retro Chuckles or something, but I mean, he's not really hard to get now. I mean, I think you can get him for $60 online or whatever, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just thinking, like, why would they do that? Make Chuckles exclusive? That's what. But
Yeah.
I like the shirt and everything. It turned out pretty well. I don't get some of the accessories, but it's.
I don't either. That's why, like, some of my characters, I just in photography just have stripped down.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chuckles is such a good figure. He's really solid. Photographs really well.
Yeah, he does.
I really enjoy him.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was actually a rubble pile.
Okay.
I took these pictures over lunch. Went out and set up, and yeah, there was just a pile of like broken blocks and stuff like that. But it really kind of has that post-apocalyptic. There was Quonset or whatever. That's the rounded building right behind Chuckles.
Yeah.
So it had just all kinds of cool aspects together, but. Yeah, I don't know what's about to unfold, but it's not going to be pretty either way.
Right. Yeah. That's cool. All right. What do we got next? And then these are all from your Instagram account, which is Hostler, HOSTLER.William.
That is correct.
Put that in there. But this Outback figure, I would be hard pressed to find a better classified figure. And I don't really even care about Outback that much, but something about this figure in hand, and it was the first Outback too, which is odd, but it was just like,
it is
this amazing figure with his bright orange shirt and the tiger on it. But like, I mean, I think he was one of the first ones I did toy photography with. And we have a little army fort from, I don't know, 100 years ago, national park, that I took him around and ran him around some cannons and stuff. But this is an amazing figure, and I really dig this shot. I think this could be a poster. I mean, this is a really great. You should get this blown up or something. This is a great. It really is. It really is. Great shot. Love all the detail.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is so photogenic. I don't know what it is about this figure, but yes, it always turns out.
Yeah.
Like he is Tamarot's my guy.
Right.
But I don't think this guy ever comes out of the pencil case, like to get swapped out with somebody else. He's always there.
Yeah. Yeah.
His head sculpt is phenomenal. on this one. I actually bought a second one to swap out with the white shirt.
Yeah.
Because mine had crazy eyes, and I'm like, this ain't working.
You know, I would have to say, if I saw a Tiger Force Outback out on a peg at a regular retail store, I'd probably buy it, and I don't know why. I don't need another one, but like, it's just an amazing figure. Maybe the backup in case something happens to my other one, but
yeah,
and I think you're onto something with the head sculpt there. I think the head sculpt is what draws you in. It's a dynamic head sculpt, and then like even with the gray hair, he's just awesome.
Yeah. There's nothing downside about this guy.
It's amazing. He's an amazing figure. So moving on, there we got Duke coming in looking for Tunnel Rat, maybe.
Yeah, this was a while before Tunnel Rat was out.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So this might have been one of your first ones. Potentially.
Yeah, it was. This was an old one.
Okay.
And it just happened, like I said, I don't set up lights. I don't, do any of that stuff. And we were again at a scout camp. That's where I get a lot of my material. But we set up around the parade field, and there was this tree that had some funky root system going on.
Oh yeah.
And was able to shoot through a hole to get this shot, and the sun was at the right angle. Like, this one hit. I was like, that's a good one. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good shot. Yeah. And then Lady J watching the day come to an end. Or she's recording it. She's recording it with her little backpack cam there. Yeah.
Yeah, this was one of the first ones that I took. I think that it really, like, everything came together. Like, this, I don't even think would have been. I wouldn't have even darkened it or contrasted it at all. We were at a state park with friends, and we went up to the overlook, and it was, everything just fell together perfectly. And this one hit too.
They call this this time of day the magic hour, because pretty much anything you set up is going to look amazing. I can tell from the sunset and all that. Yeah, it's a good shot. It's a good shot. I took a few with I was visiting my buddy in Oklahoma, and I took a few of the Chuckles in the magic hour, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's amazing! It's amazing. But it's something about the blue and the shirt with the orange of the sky and all that, and no, that's really good. These are really good pictures. I look forward to seeing what you've got in the future. So who's your? Well, I got a couple questions. So who is coming out or is out that you haven't gotten yet that you're anxious to take pictures of? Is there one? That's a better one.
So I've really geared back. I haven't gotten anybody in a while.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they've only make one every day, so I don't know.
yeah, I don't know what my hang up is. Yeah, dang.
Yeah.
I'm like, the Cobra guys are cool, but I'm, like you said at the beginning, I'm more like the true military end of things. So like the green shirts really appeal to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to get like Airborne. I don't have him.
Oh yeah, Airborne's
or Alpine. One of the OG guys.
Yeah.
That I can add to the mix.
Yeah, Alpine would look good on some of these rocks you got here. That's a heck of a background for him to play on.
Yeah.
And then my next question is, so you're an opener. So what do you do? Because I try to ask everybody this, because sort of to help me come up with something different. What do you do with all your loose accessories? My dog is going crazy here. Stop it. You're in the picture.
So
Sorry.
the old school boxes with the plastic, unless my guys are in the pencil case and their accessories are in there with them, they go back. When I'm done with them, I put them all back in the box.
Oh wow. Okay.
So behind me, you can only see the top two tiers, but
Yeah.
is a bookshelf full of classifieds. So I'll take them out, suit them up, take them out, shoot, bring them back in, put them all back in their housings. I've only lost one accessory, and that was one of General Hawk's pair of goggles or whatever.
You don't need those.
I got back home, and I was like, dang it.
That stinks.
But yeah, that's the only accessory mishap that I've had thus far. So even the ones in the boxes, I'll put the accessories back in the little stupid cardboard ammo box thing.
Right.
I wish they'd just do plastic ammo boxes. That would be so much cooler.
Oh, I
tried to talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've tried to talk my son, he dabbles in 3D printing. I've tried to talk him into, making some kind of cool ammo box thing, but it hasn't happened yet. Not the end of the world. But I personally was glad when they brought back the plastic packaging. I was a fan of that. Being able to see your figure before you open it and find out, he had crazy eyes or, two left hands or whatever.
Yeah. I get that. I did like the art a lot on the cover, but I totally understand I want to see, I make sure I'm not getting the, like you said, the crazy eyes version of a figure, or that you're actually even getting the figure that you want and not someone stuffed a Captain America in there or whatever,
Yeah. Thankfully, I never had that happen, but I've seen too many pictures of it happening that.
Oh yeah.
I don't need that.
Yeah, it's widespread apparently. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I really enjoyed your pictures. Thank you for sharing them with us today. Thank you for coming on. It was. I'm glad to finally be able to put a face to the name. And would you like to give any shout outs to anybody or promote anything?
I guess just kind of say thank you to Joe's Multiverse. He was the one that kind of got me down this rabbit hole. Toy God Original, Ralph Benarski, Mark Cosplay, some of the OG FLCers, figure loving community was what Joe had coined. So yeah, it's been fun. I enjoy the figures that I have. I haven't been keeping up with the new ones. I got a hiss. I didn't get the 3-foot long helicopter. I don't know where I'd put that. That is insane.
It is.
But
is insane.
It's been a cool rabbit hole to go down. I've met some awesome people. I've enjoyed myself. So thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
I definitely think you're doing it the right way. I think a lot of people view collecting as a race. Got to get them as fast as I can so I can have. And we're not taking our time to enjoy our figures and just taking them out with us for a walk or taking them to Boy Scouts or whatever. And, setting them up and just taking some pictures and you get gold with it. So I commend you for that, staying out of the rat race, so to speak.
There's so many solid figures like Outback, Tiger Force Outback. Flint is an awesome figure. Yep. There's so many that are just solid. So
even arguably
the ones worst, we have.
Yeah, even arguably the worst figure, Falcon, is still a pretty great figure. But yeah.
I set a challenge for myself one time. I was going to try to take Falcon out and like make him look good. You know, take shots that take a crappy figure and do something amazing with it. And I don't know that I succeeded.
Yeah.
CoverGirl still looks like Joan Rivers, which is awful that somebody put that in my head and I can't unsee it now.
Yeah.
So you're welcome, whoever I just did that to.
Very good. Well, Bill, thank you again. It was a pleasure. You can find Bill on Instagram at hostler.william, HOSTLER.William. On Instagram, lot of cool pictures to look at. Please go there, follow him. You're going to get a bunch more. I'm fairly certain of that. So thank you for coming on, Bill. It was a pleasure.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
And until next time, everybody, yo Joe. Bye.
Yo Joe.